Okay, so I think we should start and then go forward. People will come in and they will join. So basically, why we let me first introduce myself. Myself is Alpesh August. I'm the founder and CEO of Ultimate Business System with College UBS. So basically, why we started this series of webinar. So this is the first one which we are going to do, and after this, we have every month we are going to one by one on different topics, and we have the one main core agenda is like we want to give back to the community. Like whatever we have learned in these many years, we want to just give to the community. And every month, we will get the one speaker who is expert in specific topic or specific problem solving, like specific. If you talk about the marketing and you have the challenge in marketing, then we will find the person who is a good in the marketing, and we will bring them. Let's say today we have the good topic where we talk about the growth and the retention. Like when we talk about the growth and retention, we have the we can think about, okay, either we can do the growth or we can do the retention, right? So we think like, okay, does this really both are the same side of the one coin? Does it like we can able to do both together? And in now current era, there is a problem with retention. We know like, okay, it's not a hidden. Like everyone knows there is a problem with the retention, problem with the resources, problem with the skill. I mean, there is a lots of problem, but there is also solution. How you can solve that? How you can taken the, you can say, initiative within organization. So that's what we have to learn today. And to do that, we have the one legendary person. I mean, if you are in from Surat, then you know him very well. He's a, like, if I say the person who started his journey in 2005 he started his IT-based service-based company. And I was at the time I was doing college. I mean, I was in college, and I just, let's say someone is might be from you also will be in college, and if you identify, okay, you want to do the job, then definitely you will have the mind, the name in your mind. Okay, I want to go in Narola and I want to do the job. So we have that with us today, the legend itself, Ashish Narola from the Narola Infotech, to share with his own journey, share his knowledge, how he grew the team, how they build a team from beginning from 2000 to till now. In that, so this is a two topic where we want to discuss. One is like growth, and second is the retention. If you don't have the retention, definitely you will not able to grow. And if you don't have the growth, definitely you will not go to longer mile. So they already celebrated their 16th birthday, I think before 2 months, and they have grow in a team from 2 to 350. So I mean, it's the highest number I think in Surat. Maybe might be they come in top one or top three in the Surat in terms of resources. So yeah, I mean, if you can just say hi to Ashish in the chat box. I mean, I have not allowed to do the constraint. The audio is off. Just say hi to Ashish in the chat box. Then we can say, okay, we are welcoming him on the digital screen. Okay, so as I given the introduction, Ashish, like you have started your journey in 2005, and when I was passing out from my college, there was a two name. I said two or three only name which I recognized. Okay, I should do the job there, and one of those Narola Infotech. But I haven't joined there because I got the opportunity somewhere else. So sorry for that. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to add anything in that, you are welcome to do that.
Thank you, Alpesh, for the wonderful introduction. With due respect, please remove the legend word out of it. So we have a lot to learn. I mean, we are just at a beginner level. And thank you all the participants, welcome you all. I can see many known names. I know many of them. So looking forward to talk to them. And as discussed, it's kind of an interactive webinar where we may have, you can ask me questions, or maybe you can maybe ask the question, I can answer it, and then we can ask young participants to do the same, right?
Okay, so how it goes, like as you rightly mentioned, we have the 60 minutes. How it goes, we will start with the 30 minutes or interactions. I have this set of few questions which I've prepared for you personally. So I will ask that few questions in beginning. Then after we'll open the question answer for audience, like that. Please stay specific with the retention and growth. Don't go off the topic. So because we have the time constraint, we want to end at sharp 4 o'clock. So what we'll do this, like how this is a 60-minute goes, like we will this 10-minute we have elaborate the things. Then after we have the 20-minute question answer and 30-minute question answer from the audience. So you can ask the questions related to growth and retention. Yeah, one disclaimer here. whatever we say based on the experience. There is a no guarantee like, okay, Ashish will say that, okay, this is how retention will increase. There is a no guarantee that it will get increase in your company from the next day. For retention, you have to work it. You have to build the things on your organization, whatever it is like. So, whatever we learn here, it's just pure learning from your past experience or from anywhere we have learned. That's what we are going to share. So if something goes wrong, don't please blame me and Ashish for that. You have to be your own person to take actions, and you have to be responsible for your all the actions. Okay. With that, I will start with the Narola's journey. I know you started with the 2 people and in 2005 and went to 50, then 50. So I know like the journey of going in this growth, right? So before that, I would like to run one poll where we can understand our audience. Like, okay, what type of audience do we have today? And based on that, we will set the questions. So if you see, you will have the poll on your screen. If you just vote that, it's a basic questions like, okay, what is your strength of employees? How many departments do you have in your organization right now? And are you doing everything in your organization? And which language you prefer for the webinar? So we know your inputs. Based on that, we will, you can say, go ahead and modify this webinar bit. I can see there is only 4 or 5 people has give the answers. Please go ahead and just, okay. Now I can see 23%, 24%. Yeah, you will see the one pop up on your screen. It says poll. Just go ahead and answer that questions. So we'll take 1 minute here to just get all the answers. So based on that, I can pick my questions. Based on that, I can. So the main agenda is like we want to give maximum value for investing your time, because you have invested 1 hour from your life. It's a 60 minutes. So we want to make sure you learn something new from the 60 minutes. That's the agenda. That's why we ask these questions. So it's still 73%. I will take 1 minute pause here and allow you to give an answer.
Third question is very interesting, Alpesh.
So, when we talk about the growth and the retention, I think the last question, we have the 3 polls, and the last poll is more interesting than this one.
Okay.
So, when we talk about the growth, definitely you need to get time and you need to think about it. So if you don't think about that, I think you will not able to identify that.
Right.
Okay, so now I will close the poll and I will share the result here. So you will be able to see the result. Okay, so most of audience today we have, it's between 1 to 50, and it's a 69%. There is 10% in 10 to 50 to 100, and 21% above the 100. So we have the maximum audience is between 1 to 50 and the 100. So we will spend more time on that. And I can see the people don't have the there is a department, because you have the 7 business functions in organization, right? Management, marketing, sales, HR, R&D, finance. And if you don't have these departments, this all department is your backbone to run your company. Then if it's something is missing, definitely growth will not going to happen. You have to identify why the department is missing. Yeah, and the third one is like, just I'm giving you idea why this question is important. If you don't get a time to think about your growth of the company, then there is no way you can able to do the growth in the organization, because you have to spare some time from your busy schedule, and you have to build such a way a schedule that you get a time to think about the growth. Okay, so we'll start with this and we will move forward. So we can see maximum people we have is 100 to 50 and 100 plus. So I would like to get some information from Ashish that, okay, what was your journey? Because like when we talk about the growing a team from 1 to 10, it's a bit difficult. Like when you have the 10 people, from 10 to 50, you will reach easily. I mean, that journey will be very easy. And when you go from the 50 to 100, that is more challenging than the 1 to 10. And when you reach to 100 and you want to break that 100, and you go from 100 to 150 or 150, 200 and 250, that journey is more difficult than the which you have faced from the you can say 50 to 100. Because what will happen as question, uh, when you recruit the in initial stage 1 or 2 people, and your strength goes from 3 to 4 people, right? And the environment which is get built in the organization, from the three might be one people will leave and one more people will comes in, so you will not able to pass the 10th number. I mean, it's very difficult nowadays to pass 10th number if you are the startup. So what is your journey, and how you think, like what step they allow them to go on that journey from 1 to 10 and 10 to 50?
Okay, so yeah, sure. So I'll share my experience. Just wanted to add one disclaimer that because we started in 2005, so
Mm-hmm.
situation or the parameters were totally different than what we have right now, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but still, I'll share my learnings. So in 2005, because in Surat is not known for IT, right? So at that time, so now though we can't say that. So that time, you can say very few companies were there at the same time. Where there were a limitation in finding experienced people, you can say. So we had to rely on freshers and all. So initially, if I talk about, let's say, 1 to 10, the main challenge was to train the people, because we were the only people who knows the things. I mean, in terms of experience, whatever we got, because before we started this journey, I was working with one Mumbai based organization for 4 years. So we had to train them. We had to give them a training in terms of technology training, the kind of other soft skill trainings and all. And we need to make them ready. And as you rightly said, that when out of those 10 people, when someone resign, it's pretty hard to make that change easily. It takes good amount of time, so you struggle a lot. Additionally, during that first stage, what happen is sometimes you get confused in terms of business, whether you need to say no to any particular client, because at that time you are struggling to get business, so you get limited leads in terms of getting the projects. And also at that time, for example, I have a 10 people who is working on let's say particular programming language, or I don't have a I just have a particular core skill. Then if there is a project which worth more than whatever project I am working on, and it demands a new set of expertise, so sometimes it's a bit difficult to sometimes it is very difficult to say no. But what I have learned is, in initial period, you have to learn to say no, that sorry, but this is what we do. I mean, you need to identify your key offering, that what exactly you are planning to do. So it holds true for 0 to 50, basically. Till the time you reach to the stage of 50, maybe you should actually try to limit your offering, so that you can really focus, you can really get a bit of expertise on it. And during that stage, after you cross 20, you need to develop a bit of SOPs, and you also need to start working on developing a leadership, so that after 50, when you start delegating, then you will have a better support. Because when you prepare a leader from your own team, it works well compared to when you hire someone from outside. Because the people who started with you, or who is working with your organization since so long, they understand your processes, they understand the processes well, culture very well. So maybe after 50, what you need to do is, whatever leadership bodies you have developed, you need to start delegating, and then you need to replicate it. And then again, you need to start developing the leadership. And then you need to realize that now it's a high time that you need to focus on sales and marketing activities comparatively more, because now you need that kind of a growth. Because it's not just a manpower growth, on the business side also you need to grow, so that on then and then only you are able to grow your company, right?
Okay, so you said one interesting thing in that, like you should start delegating after you have the 50 people, right? So most of struggle comes there. Like I having a conversation with a few people well, in past 1 or 2 weeks. They have the understanding, like once you start delegating them, they're not able to give you same output as you are doing that, right? So what's your take on that? Like once, I mean, if we say KB, when I start giving a work to my employee, right, they are not that much dedicated. They are not doing the work which as I as expected. So there is a lots of problem in delegation, and that's why they are not doing a delegation and they're doing everything by themselves. So if you
Sure.
people are doing the same thing in their organization, they are managing all their departments, right? And
Right.
that's the stopping them to do the growth. So if you want to give some tips on delegation, like how they should start doing a delegation for their within a team, so if you can
Right.
guide them on that, that will be great.
Sure, sure. So just wanted to add that, you should not wait till the time you reach to 50. You should start delegating, once you cross actually more than 15 or 20 people, right? So you should start delegating. Now, yeah, it's interesting question, and everyone experience the same kind of feeling that, I can only do this job the way it should be. But problem is, do you really have an option? If you really wish to grow, I mean, you need to trust people, and trust me, there are trustworthy people around, there are talented people around, there are more talented people around than what you think of. So sometimes you even think that, let's say, this person cannot do job, but later stage you realize that that person is doing that job better than you. So it is not like that. Trust people, and I think that is the only way, and because you don't have any other alternate solution. Like, just imagine your position, that you really think that you can do all the jobs once you reach let's say 50 people or 100 people. I don't think so there is any possibility to entertain each of the clients, finance, HR, and everything. I don't think so it's possible. So you have to delegate the job. Now, in the one thing I wanted to add from my side, that I learned one delegation theory, because everyone talks about delegating things and all, but we don't know that how to delegate. It's very difficult. So we have to note down the things, whatever jobs we are doing on daily basis, and then we need to highlight the 4 to 5 items which we feel that this is something it's important for our organization, and this is something I only should do. So it means that rest of the items which is not highlighted should be delegated. Now it cannot be delegated immediately. So what you need to do is you need to pick one of the item which you need to delegate, then start work on it. It might take a week, might take a month, might take 3 months, 6 months, because sometimes you don't have a position to delegate. For example, right now you are taking care of HR operation on your own. So if you wish to delegate, you need to hire someone, you need to train that person. So it might take us 6 months. So once you delegate that thing, pick the next thing, and you need to repeat the process till the time you have those 4 to 5 key responsibilities which you want to entertain really.
So I mean, yeah, that's a great learning. Like you should have to make a list, like, okay, which is important for me to do, and then after I can make a list. Okay, this is not task which I should do, and I can should delegate to my team members, and definitely you can delegate this starting one by one, not at a time, not everything. Might we can go one by one, and that's interesting one. Okay, so now there is a lots of myth about, like, okay, who should is responsible for a growth, and who should is responsible for retention. So I mean, that's a too interesting question for from my side. If you want to answer that question one by one, who is responsible for organization growth? I mean, we talk about everywhere. Like, okay, I have seen the CEO is there, CTO is there, CXO people are there, but who is really responsible for organization growth?
It's a full circle actually. Both the people are equally responsible, because just imagine, you have a big team and you don't have a project on hand. So end of the day, it's not gonna sustain, right? Because they have to have a billable project work on hand, and at the same time, let's say if you have a lot of clients and you don't have a people around, then also you will not be able to grow. So both the things should work well, and it should work in a sync. So it's very, very thin line, you can see. So both things should grow together.
So you basically give the diplomatic answer for that. So I mean, as per my understanding, if we narrow down that, the CEO is responsible for, you can say CEO is responsible for organization growth. He has to lay out the projections. He has to lay out the technologies. So if I be very upfront, I will say that's my answer. I mean, definitely I can relate with you. It's a circle, but yeah, I mean, if you want to responsible one person, who will be the responsible for just doing a growth? I mean,
Yes.
for me, it's you can say CEO, because he's responsible for everything what's happening in the organization. Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Sorry, I think I misunderstood your question. So you are talking about the one person. So yes, one person.
Yeah, I mean, just one person. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
CEO or the chairman of the company should be responsible.
Yeah, and when we talk about retention, right? When it comes to retention, what do you think? Like, what is the most critical few points which you need to take care within organization to retain your people? Who do you have right now? Or so, what point you should share? We should all the take care when you talk about the retention of the employee.
Right. So I think if we all think logically, I think we all know the answer, right? That what they need. Obviously, apart from a salary, what all things they need. Salary always play a key role because everyone has a rights to grow financially. Every individual has that rights, right? But in addition to that, you have to have that kind of culture. When we say culture, it doesn't mean that it is not just limited to the welfare activity. It is something where we are talking about a generation Z, right? So we have to make sure that they get the challenging work because they wish to get challenged. If they are not having that challenging work, then they will think about changing the job. Additionally, they don't they really wish to make sure that they are growing in terms of knowledge. So you have to have kind of a training program. You have to have some sort of sponsorship in terms of getting the certification in place. So if that is the case, then and then only they will stay with the organization. So that is what I recommend, that we have to have a kind of a culture where everyone has full potential in terms of growing their skill. They get a work where they get challenged. Yes, obviously, every time it is not possible, but to the extent it is possible, we can make it possible for them, and we can try.
This next question, definitely you have answered very well. The next question, which is a bit more difficult. So when you, as you mentioned rightly about the organization culture, right? So for you, like, what is a culture definition? Like, let's say you want to say that this company's culture is very good or bad, or they are doing very great. So for you, what is the culture as a within organization? How you define? Okay, this is the culture which we are building.
Right. So the good culture, it's very good question. So good culture means what? People can trust. People can trust internally. Our client can trust our people, or our people, our leader can trust their, or subordinates, and likewise. So if there is a trust internally, based obviously with the capability, in terms of capability I'm talking about, then it's a good culture. So that is the key thing. And how you can build this, as I said, that with a lot of training programs, with a lot of basically proper evaluation process in place, we have to make sure that everyone is on the same page, and everyone can trust each other in terms of capability. Like leader would have a clear understanding about who is doing what, and who is capable in what, and that way they can delegate the things properly. So maybe this is the way we can build that kind of culture.
So in last thing, you have mentioned lots of things like we should build training program evolutions. We should make sure they are on the same page. We should make them, the job description is aligned with their work. If you can guide us, like, okay, how in your current organization, if you allow, how the process, let's say I'm the one person who is joining your organization, then what step you follow in organization from onboarding to exit, like what exactly it's happening in your organization. So we can all learn, like, okay, how you manage, and if we can take some input from there, that will help everyone to be implement that process and system within organization.
Sure. So first of all, it's an internally related question. So I'm just adding that point that we one thing is, so we should have the policy in place, overall policy, HR policy and all. So whenever we draft any policy, we need to think like them. Virtually, you need to sit opposite side of the table. So you need to think like what your team member is thinking about this policy. So you have to have a proper policy. So once anyone join in our organization, we make sure that we have a HR orientation where they will be briefed about what sort of policies we have. Then we make sure that the new person is comfortable. So we have recently started a system where we actually give a kind of a tag, you can say a one person who will be act as a kind of a friend or a buddy buddy program, you can say. So, act as a buddy for that new joiner. So that new joiner will feel comfortable in terms of the organization. And what we do is, every 2 months we have the evaluation process where we have a software, HRMS software, where we record their performance scores. We verbally tell them, and the meeting will happen like this: that every 2 months, the HR manager, that person, and the leader will sit together and they will discuss with each other. And we try to make sure that they are on same page, that how they are performing in past how they have performed in past 6 months, what sort of expectation the leader is having in upcoming months and all. So they try to make sure that we all are on same page. And if HR has any point in terms of HR policy, they also share the same with the candidate. So that way we try to create a kind of a culture where everyone is on same page.
So that definitely, that's like process. It's from onboarding to exit. You have to manage with your organization based on your policies and based on your understanding internal policies, right? So definitely, first thing, you have to build the policies. Second, you have to make them understand, okay, what the policies are there. Third, you have to do the periodical evolutions with them, and they have to make sure, okay, what they are doing good and what they are need to improve. So that help them to improve themselves also. So yeah, I mean, that's a great step to follow and implement in organization to retain the people nowadays.
Exit, I forgot to add. Sorry.
Yeah.
So exit,
Yeah.
I forgot to add. So at the time of
Yeah.
exit, we try to make sure that we gather the feedback, and we try to gather that feedback on last day after we issue the relieving letter and all. So we feel that they'll be more comfortable to share their experience with the company. So we try to analyze that how was their overall experience with the organization. So it helps us, and we try to review it on timely manner and make sure that we take the corrective actions. So that is
So that's an interesting one. Like you give them everything first, then after you take a feedback. So he can able to give you the honest feedback because they don't have any pressure to, apply the cream and then after give the feedback. So that's a takeaway for me. Definitely, we will implement that in our organization. That's a process. We was doing opposite. Like we was taking a feedback first, then after we giving all the details. So that's a takeaway for me also. So the next question which I have is bit technical. The bit tricky. So like in every organization nowadays, what happen is like people stay with the organization for 2 or 3 years, and then after they leave, and that cycle goes on. That's not going getting stopped for everyone, for me or for you, or I don't know about the other organization. I know about you because we have lots of conversation about that. So what do you think? Like, what should we do to retain the people after 3 years or 4 years or 5 years? What are the challenges we have and how we can resolve that? Definitely, it's not. Not able to. That's if you give some lights on that based on past experience, what you have did to retain them above the 3 year or 4 years.
Right. So I would like to share my past experience, as well as recently I learned few new things from the few workshops I have attended. So what I feel that once a person is having a clear-cut roadmap about the growth, how he or she can grow with his organization, not just knowledge point of view. Again, they have to have a very clear understanding of they should able to relate their financial growth, because end of the day that is a key motive, right? So if they can relate that thing easily, then and then only they can think of a long-term future with the organization. Now there are two types of company. One is like a consulting company like us. Another would be a product company. So based on your business structure means whether it's LLP or a private limited firm or a proprietor firm, either you can implement some sort of a variable pay, a yearly variable pay, which will be given based on the company performance, and it will be given to those key people. Or else, if it's a private limited firm, or maybe if it's a product firm, then you can also think of a ESOP, like employee stock options, so that they will feel valued, because they are also adding values in the organization. So that is the way maybe you can think of it. So it depends on your business structure. As I said, that if it's something where they cannot relate the growth, then even though if you give employee stock option, it won't work. So you have to be wise enough, as Alpesh mentioned in start. we have to be wise enough that what exactly we need to implement in our organization, because we would have our own limitation that, we are not growing the way it should be. So even if you give employee stock options, they might not be excited about. So in that case, maybe you can think of adding that variable pay, a yearly variable pay in terms of yearly reward or something. So that may be one of the options you can, make sure that they can stay with the organization for longer duration. And you can try. It doesn't mean it'll work all the time.
So I do remember one of the question asked when Dr. Anand came last time. In the webinar, someone asked, okay, I'm offering 10 rupees and someone is offering 13 rupees. So how should I retain them? So he has a very simple answer. You should offer him 14 rupees. So he should get retained easily, because his motive is the money. And if you if you don't able to offer him 14 rupees, he will not stay, because people drive, as per my understanding, people will drive the two things. One is knowledge and second is financial, the career growth and financial growth, right? So if they want financial growth, then definitely if you give anything to them, they will not get retained. You have to get the stage, or you have to identify how you can give them the 14, so that might get retained. Okay.
Yes.
So I have the lots of questions, but I will not take much time because it's already 13. If I have the time and we will take it. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. In the window, I will unmute you. And second, you can type your questions in the chat. Sanjay has asked one question: how we can retain for longer time, as there is a competitive market and employees are getting good hike. So it's a very similar questions which I asked you previous one. But if you want to add anything in that, you can. Yeah.
I think I already answered in my previous conversation. Additionally, you mentioned about our learning with Dr. Anand Deshpande. So end of the day, you have to make sure that you offer more, because it's simple. Isn't it very simple? Think of your own self. You're buying something, and if you get a better price for the same thing somewhere else, then you will go over there. Like recently, I have noticed that people have started ordering from Zomato compared to Swiggy, maybe because I assume that they must be giving a good offers, right? So it's that obvious. Like why will they stay with you if they are not getting good figure from you? So nothing personal. It's everyone has their own rights, right, to grow.
Okay, so meantime, we get a few questions. I have another poll. It's a bit interesting one. So we know, like, okay, how the in current organization is structured, and people are having a time to think about the growth and retention. Last was about growth. This one is about retention. So I'm just launching a poll. We'll take 1 or 2 minutes for this. And if you can answer that, that would be great. Okay, so meantime, we have another question is like, does work from home or hybrid working increase the chances of retention?
Maybe I can share my experience. So I was thinking the same, but it is not working well in terms of, I personally feel that that is again my personal opinion, that you cannot build a culture when people are work from home. And this hybrid model, yeah, it's something we can try, but never know, right? I feel that this work from home or hybrid model, you should think about when you have very you can say matured team members in your organization. When I say matured, means people who has years of experience, who knows that it is something, it's their own duty. So it depends on your business model. So if you feel that it is working well in your case, you should try. Otherwise, so you should not try. Even if we see nowadays a bigger organization, they have also stopped this model. They are also calling people from in office. I believe you cannot build a culture. Just imagine how in work from home people, a person would be just talking to their immediate leader. They will not have a chance to talk to their other team members. So that way they even will not learn things. So it's not good for organization. It's not good for them either. So I believe though it is not recommended.
So, if I share my experience on this, like you have rightly said, like there is a connection between the team member is really missing, because you might have the two type of people. If they are traveling from 1 or 2 hours to just reach your office, then might be to retain them. If you give them work from home, definitely they get retained, because you are saving 2 hours for them. Just for like sake of getting work from home, I'm staying in Surat. I'm staying in nearby your office, just 5 minute walking, and he's asking for work from home. I don't think so. He's is about retention. It's just about the mindset, right? So
Right.
yeah, I mean, you have to play around with your culture, you have to play around with your view, you have to play around how they behave. We have the few people who just come office to having a feeling about office and having a emotional connection, having a you can say talking with the right people, talking with the team members. So that's like added lots of value. I use one word, emotions, right? So do you think like if you are connected with your team members emotionally, like not emotionally in sense like, okay, what's happening in his life, what is a good, what is a if you do one-to-one meeting and ask that type of questions, like okay, what they are doing good in their life, does really help in retention or not?
It is. I would like to share my personal experience. I remember those early days when I was having a team of 20 people. So I was having a very good bonding with each of them. So as you grow, it is impossible, right? Because you need to delegate your duties. So you would have HR manager, you would have CTO, you would have other people to lead other jobs. So that bonding you cannot maintain, and practically even if you wish to meet individually, it is not possible. So what happen is, it get lost at some stage, even if you like it or not, because then though you have to rely on a bit of SOPs, your people. So direct bonding with those people will only work when, let's say, if you are a product company having a limited team, or even if you are a consulting company and having a limited team, it is possible. But with large team, I don't think so that you can maintain that direct bonding.
Okay,
That
very
is
well
my
said.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah. So Dristy has a question. I will just ask, unmute her. Okay, I just unmute you. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can hear you. You can go ahead, please. Yeah.
yeah. So, despite of trying so many things for the retention, like, fulfilling their needs, whether it is financial or emotional or whatever, like the bond you say. So then also, they give such reasons that, no, I just want to leave. Like, even if we ask that, if is salary your problem, or is, financial thing your problem, then also, they just give stupid reasons and they just move away. I assume that, of course, it is not an honest reason why they are leaving the company, but still, like, we face such kind of issues. So, like, what shall be done apart from talking them with the pure honesty and in the raw way?
Yes. So I think your name is Drashti. Drashti, I think it depends on the kind of culture we have, whether they have that comfort zone when we are asking them that question. I remember in past we had that kind of issues, and then we realized that female candidate are more comfortable with female HR while sharing their own reasons. Sometimes,
Right.
let it be health issues or let it be anything. Then we
Right.
modified the process where we actually made a mechanism in such a way that now they can talk to the female HR. So it helped a bit. I'm not saying that it's all the 100% issues, but it helps. So
Yeah.
you need to identify that why they are not comfortable. We need to
Right.
assume that they are right only at their stage. So why they are not sharing, we need to work on those parameters maybe, and then we can work on it.
Right. Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the one more questions in the chat box. Aya has a question. What it we fulfill the candidate expectation during increment, but still the company has an offered salary with the MNCs in Pune and Bangalore. Then how to retain them? Like as a Surat industry, it be high enough to pay them. One of the example is one employee asked me to offer 5 lakh per annum. We did that, and then he said he has offer of 6 lakh in Ahmedabad. So he's asking for a 6 lakhs in terms asking for a 6 lakh. So what we can do in that scenarios?
So yeah. So basically, I feel it's something. It depends. It depends actually. See, one thing is, so they are going to get the opportunities right now. Everyone has a lot of opportunities, so they are going to negotiate well. Now, even if you accept, you also need to think about your current organization and the team members working with you. So you're not gonna spoil your entire salary structure for one person. So it depends that how what are the other options you have. As I mentioned initially, that either you can try variable pay if it's a relevant, if it's a key position. Maybe if you're hiring a very senior person, then it can be one of the option. If it's a employee stock option, can be one of the options. But trust me, everyone has to grow in terms of business. Then and then only, you can uh, be there in the market, right? So growth is not optional. Everyone really has to grow in terms of business, in terms of rate, in terms of, if your product come, you need to sell your product to more people, then you will have more money in place to pay your people. So by just talking to people, you cannot retain them, right? Practically, so we have to make it happen for make it happen that they grow financially.
Yeah, I mean, that's a right thing, as you said. So we can do one thing is like, okay, that's like right now the market scenario is not that much good in terms of like, okay, they are getting all the startup. If you talk about the Bangalore, Pune, they have lots of money inflow. If you just think about the psychological region, right? They're raising lots of money, and their investors saying them, okay, you have to burn this money in next 18 months. So where they will spend? They are raising like, okay, millions of money. If they say 10 million, it's around 70 crore. If you want to spend 70 crore in 18 months, where you will spend?
Correct.
So they want the people, they want to hire them, and that's why they are giving crazy salaries. I mean, that's why the market is booming right now. So
Correct.
you are hearing the, okay, recession will come and this will be fed away, right? So it's just a matter of time. Might be, as per my experience, it's just a matter of time. It will take some time to settle it down. Might be after 6 months. It might get settled down, and the right now the people who is getting crazy hike and crazy salary offer, that's good for everyone. I mean, I'm not against that.
Yes,
I mean, it's
yes.
good for everyone, but that might be comes within a range, as you mentioned very well. Like, it's not in Surat range. Might be it happen after a few time, because this once the recession comes, because it's just a cycle. If you see the cycle of the historical data, you will identify, okay, this happening. Okay, this is a boom happening right now. We had a like internet boom also. We had W boom also. Like it burst. Like when it bursts, it will settle down the market, right? So might be it will happen. We don't know when it happened, but definitely it will happen in the near future. If we go to next question, uh, if your CEO tells you that I don't have any idea how to move ahead related to employee growth, then how to retain that employees?
Who is asking that question?
Rishabh Shah has asked that question. Yeah.
So I believe Rishabh would be HR manager and reports to a CEO, maybe.
I can unmute you, Rishabh. 1 second. Yeah, I can unmute you if you want. You can just unmute yourself. You can speak.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Rishabh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an HR manager. You are right.
Okay. So basically, if that is the case, then maybe you can ask him and only that what else I should try now. There is no way, right? See, end of the day, everyone needs the growth, right? So that is something. You have to accept it. Then and then only you will be able to work on it. And Alpesh rightly mentioned that there will be a correction, but I still wanted to add on top of that don't expect that will be that kind of correction, because you will have more competition. There are a lot of companies nowadays. So if you go to college, Alpesh, you will agree with me that all those college graduates, they think about starting their own venture immediately after they finish their graduation, because it's pretty easy to get first few projects from the freelancing website. So what happens is competition is going to grow, but problem is the kind of market we have, kind of colleges we have a limited seat. So we limited people will be deployed every year in the market, because government is maybe not thinking, or I don't know, but we have very limited people is getting added in the IT industry every year, and out of that 50% of the people to going for further studies. There is 50%, out of that we have to think that how many people will come to you. So what we need to do is we really need to work on that again, the workshop we have attended recently. We really need to identify our niche. This routine practice where we are just dealing with web application or mobile application, sometimes as an organization, in terms of business also you will face a challenge, and in terms of retaining people also, you will not be able to showcase the kind of growth you are planning to do. So you really need to identify your niche, and then internally it is practically possible. Then this situation will not arise. You wish to add anything,
So
Alpesh, on top of that?
yeah, to add on that, like definitely, as we was talking about journey, right? So we have learned recently in the one of the webinar, your journey from 1 to 50, 50 to 100, and 100 to 200 is different. As a CEO, as a HR manager, as a developer, you have to grow yourself. You have to learn new things on every stage. Like it is not correct way. Like if you grow from 1 to 50, that works for 50 to 100. You have to uplift yourself. You have to learn from the books. You have to learn from videos. You have to learn from anywhere to uplift yourself from where you can grow from 50 to 100, or maybe 5 crore to 50 crore, or maybe 5 crore to 100 crore, right? So you also need to grow yourself. And in that case, specific to answer the Rishabh question, might be you have to identify, okay, how you can retain the people. You have to build a strategy. You have to build SOPs. Okay, what extra you can do it, right? So if you see my poll, the last question was like, okay, as a HR or business owner, are you getting time to think about your employee retention? So there is a 36% says no, it's a 25 people out of 100. So out of 69, so 36% people not think about retention, right? So that's the biggest, like first challenge you have to do is like you should start thinking about retention, how you can retain them, right? So first you have to start thinking on that, and definitely it will help you once you brainstorm with your team member, with the CEO, with the internal team, with the management team. Definitely everyone will have the answer for that, and you will come up with the great strategies. We'll move to next question. Currently, I just started the company last 3 months. I have the 3 employees. So my question is, how can I build company to 1 to 50 as an employee? Okay. It's from Dharmik.
So Dharmik, it's obviously right that you have to first generate the business, and you need to. It's now considering the current market situation. Though I don't want to give any definite answer, but yeah, it would be a little difficult in order to have people on board. So maybe you can start hire freshers, you train them, and then you develop the capability, and that is the only way. As I mentioned, in first 52 you need to make sure that you need to follow this strategy only, a mix of hiring few experienced people and a lot of freshers. That is the model where you can grow.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Next question is, people those days do not relocate to work location except for the metro cities, so hiring and retention become extremely difficult.
Okay, so basically I don't agree with that fact. If in previous conversation, one of the previous conversation, Alpesh has mentioned about the product companies life cycle. They get huge investment. So when you have a fund in your bank, trust me, people will move. It's not like that. People in Mumbai, if you see out of 100 people in Mumbai, many of them are relocated from other cities. Forget about Mumbai for a while, but even Pune and all. So Surat is not that bad city. I think that it is possible only if we have a deep pocket, and deep pocket comes from right clients, or if you are a product company, then the investment. I think people will move.
Okay, so next question is from, I'm going very fast because we have the 10 minutes and I have the set of questions below. So I'm just going very fast. Hi, what if we cannot ESOP and variable pay? In that case, what all the initiatives we can do to retain them?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so high salary. So yeah. So basically,
yeah, please go ahead. Sorry.
So 70 or 80%, I would say that if we just note down all the points, where possible points which any employee will consider before they actually put on their paper, the 80% weightage you need to give to the salary, 70 to 80%. So that is the area where you need to focus. 30% is something where they have issues, and very in exceptional cases they will have issues with their immediate leader, where they feel that they don't want to work, or maybe the wrong client with whom they are dealing with. But in 90% of the cases, this is the main thing. They will resign, right? So you really need to work on that only. Now, I assume, Naina, that if you mentioned ESOP and variable pay is not possible, then salary is the only thing you have, right? But why we implement this ESOP and variable pay, sometimes we need that person. At the same time, we don't have a bandwidth to pay that high salary because it affects the salary structure of the organization. So in that case, we implement this ESOP and variable pay. So then you need to work on how you can develop a better business where you can really implement it. That is my answer.
So next question is from Rakesh. He want to ask me and you all both, want to ask about it, how we can start a new technology in our agency without having expertise with that new technology. Please give some suggestions about it. We'll need to hire an expert of that technology first, or we can go with the fresher for now.
So if I need to answer in my case, so we always try to onboard experienced people first, and then we make sure that we have enough freshers whom they will train, and slowly and gradually we develop capability in that area. That is what our structure is. Alpesh, maybe you wish to add.
So I can give you some insight on that from within our organization. We want to start Unity in 2013. So when Unity was very new, and I mean in the Surat you will hardly identify 5 or 6 people who can work on Unity, and they are asking very high pay scale, because we don't had a department and we want to start that, right? So in 2013, what we did, we hired a person from Ahmedabad. We asked him to relocate in Surat. We give him extra pay for relocations. Then after, we build an entire team under him. So we hired the person who has a 6-year experience, and we hire him from Ahmedabad. We move him to Surat, and in 2013 we build a Unity team. So that's like we have to take a bet. So to specific to your question, definitely need an expert person who can guide the team. If you hire the fresher, who will guide them? You will not able to build a team if you don't have the guidance. They will come in and they will say, okay, we are struggling. No one is guiding us. We are leaving the company. So that will happen with us also in other technology. In initial stage, that's why we go with the experienced person, and we are very clear with him. Okay, this is your role. You need to build a team within organization. You have to do this many extra activities. You have to do these things when we onboard them. So if we get agree, then you can onboard, and he has a clear role in mind. Okay, I have to do this in organization, and they will be accepting the challenge, and they will go ahead for that. We'll go next question. I think we already answered that question of Nayan. We'll go to the Umesh question. New employee has some basic knowledge, but sometimes we feel that they are not responsible for their work and not show maturity in the company.
So yes, I mean, that is again lack of training only, because at least if I talk about our company, we make sure that the orientation part, where all those freshers who join the organization, they get a chance to attend such workshop where they get a bit of clarity about the professionalism. When we say professionalism, it covers everything, right? The ownership of the work and how they should work, how they should talk. We also give them a training about the communication, where we also cover the English part. So we make sure that you don't get 100% result out of it, but it really helps. Out of 10, maybe 7 people will understand, and we will have the better cooperation from there. Rest 3 people will learn after few months, but it worked really well. So it's all about training only, as per me.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move to the next question. I would like to know what other non-monetary benefits other than the recognition, awards, and celebration would help in the retention.
Okay. So yes, I think already answered that. If you ask me, out of 100, maybe 70 to 80% is salary or the monetary benefit. Rest 20 to 30% is everything else that covers award celebration or all your welfare activities.
Right? So to addition to that, my understanding is bit different on that. Like if you talk about the life cycle of the employee, like they have the life cycle, right? They are in college, they come in, they don't have the experience, they're looking for the knowledge, right? So if you think about like the life cycle, might be knowledge, money,
correct,
and the recognition. So there is a different level, different stage. You have to identify, okay, what the person is looking for. Really, he's looking for the money. He's looking for how he get motivated. Like, in different language, he's motivated with the money, and you want to retain them. Give him money. If he's motivated with the recognition, give him recognition. If he's motivated with the knowledge and power, then you have to identify how you will give the knowledge and power. So you have to identify his inner, the motivation, and you have to do one-to-one meeting with him, and you have to identify that. Once you identify that, definitely will help you to retain them. Okay, we'll move to next question. I would like to know your thoughts on how to contribute feedback can help improve employee growth and retention. Ashka, can you elaborate this question? I'm not able to understand. I can unmute you right now. Can you please give elaboration to this question? Or
Hi,
Ashish, you understand? Yeah.
Yeah, so actually my question is, I would like to know your thoughts on how constructive feedback, can help in improving our employees' growth and retention.
You mean to say that feedback from them about the company policy,
Yeah,
feedback for the leader?
exactly. Both regarding their performance, because there might be a time that you need to, have a discussion, one-on-one discussion with your teammates about everything. Yeah.
Got it. So just wanted to add, maybe I'll share my process so it may help you. What we do is, in addition to our bi-monthly meeting, we have a satisfaction survey, employee feedback survey, you can say, which we do it every quarter, but they get a chance to submit their own feedback. So we have a system software in place through which, they submit the feedback. What my understanding based on my experience is, you need to clarify why. So many of the times it is a misunderstanding because of their years of experience, or let's say they are freshers, or they are 1 to 2 years of experience. Half of the things what they are expecting is not genuine, and they don't know why. So if you clarify, you almost get 80 to 90% of the success. That we just need to explain that. So it really works. It really helps. We should take the feedback.
Definitely. Yeah.
But
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
just wanted to add that we need to take the actions on that. If we just take the
exactly.
it doesn't help. It actually creates more frustration. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, so I think we are almost on time. We don't have any remain questions. If still have 2 minutes, if anyone have questions, they can raise their hand or type on the chat. Meantime, I have the one last poll, which I like to launch. And okay, so we have the one more question. In order to help the new employee to coordinate with the other employee from the very first day, what can we do for him or her? In there, anything can do for them to ensure intern can add a value to their professional life from the initial days. So it's all about onboarding, like how you do onboarding from the first day.
Right. So in our case, as I mentioned, that our HR manager makes sure that they give a complete orientation.
It's my internet is gone.
Okay.
It's my internet or?
Hello, I think.
Yeah. So okay, have you seen the last question? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. So basically, I just wanted to add that in our case, so we have a HR orientation training, which will happen, on the very first day. In addition to that, we have a buddy system in place. So we can give them a buddy who is working with the organization since years. So that way, maybe they will get that kind of that day-to-day confusion, day-to-day questions will be answered by them only, their buddy within the organization.
Okay. So I think we are almost on time, and it's almost 4 o'clock. I will just please just allow me for 2 more minutes. I will just run this poll. I will end this poll, and then we will have the end summary, and we will after the close the webinar. So just allow me 2 more minutes, just 1 minute to fulfill this poll. So because we want to run this every month, so every month we will come up with the topic. That's why we are asking what topic you have more challenges in the organization, so we can have the voting on that, and based on that we can arrange the next webinar where we can bring the expert from the industry, and they can give the session on that. One more thing I just want to ask, do you think question answer will be good, or the presentation by the expert will be good? So if you can say 1 or 2, 1 is for the question answer, and 2 is for the knowledge sharing on the topic. So if you type 1 or 2 in chat box, I can get the idea, okay, what will be good for all the peoples. So I can see most of ones there, 1s and 2. Sorry, I don't had a predefined poll for that. I just got that thought. Okay, so we will do something for this. Right. Okay, so in the poll, so there is still 76%. If anyone don't have given the poll, please go ahead and just give the voting. So we choose the right topic for next time, and we will have the end goal is we want to just share the knowledge which we have and want to add a value to all the people's life. That's our end motive for this webinar. So we can able to choose the right topic for the next webinar. Okay, so it's almost time up. I will end the poll. I will share the result. Obviously, it was as I guess, it's a recruitment, and definitely we want to be on online session. So definitely we will try something like where we can get the industry expert for recruitment. We will try our best, who can add lots of value in the all the people's life, and we will try to arrange that webinar. Last thing, if you like the webinar, you have some takeaway, just go on LinkedIn, just post the takeaway and tag the UPS, because that's UPS is running this initiative. So whenever we have the next webinar, people will know about that and they can able to register themselves, and they will able to identify, okay, events is happening. So two things, if you can help the other people who is also having the same knowledge and same industry, just go on LinkedIn, share your takeaway, tag a UPS, and just follow the UPS on the LinkedIn, so you can get the next webinar information. Thank you very much, Ashish, for your time. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending the session. And please do give your feedback. Me and Ashish both are available on the LinkedIn. You can search me, Alpesh Vagasia, and Ashish Narola. We both are available in LinkedIn. And definitely, if you have questions other than what if you have missed, you can send a question on LinkedIn. We will able to answer that. We are very active. I mean, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'm not sure about the Ashish, but I'm very active on LinkedIn. I will try my best to answer your question. So yeah, I mean, just help us to reach out to as many as people, and follow the UBS, and we will see you on the next webinar. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good weekend from the tomorrow.
Thank you all for active participation. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, bye.